Well, welcome back. It is season 8 of RTO. We are back after a couple of months sabbatical, and we're back on track once again, and we're kicking it off with the Nordschleife, the Green Hell. This is going to be one way to start it up, a baptism of fire for all of these drivers. And yeah, I cannot wait to show you what it's all about. So, just to go through everything here, Nordschleife is round number 1. There's a few things we need to go through in regards to how this the changes that we've made from season 7 to season 8. Number 1 being that we have 2 styles of races. Rounds 1, 3, and 5 are 60-minute races with a pit stop, mandatory fuel with a 25-second fuel timer. Okay. After that, we have rounds 2, 4, and 6, which are 2 25-minute races with without a pit stop and only 1 qualifying. You can see on there, round 6 and 3 will also be rain. The rest of them will be dry, although you might find some of them being a little bit darker than the daytime as you normally have seen it. So welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining. We did have a few technical issues, as usual, with the Linksy stream, but we finally got it working, so I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy what you're about to see. We have 45 drivers signed up to this. Funnily enough, a few of them have signed out for the first round, but we have 35 drivers about to take battle on track for you, and let's get this straight underway because we're already into qualifying, and we've got the new guys of Team SPX on track. The AMs have the first 12 minutes, and then after the first 12 minutes you go and see the silvers, pros, and any wildcards that are available to race. How are we all in the chat? Thanks for joining, Simon. Yes, speed up. I know I'm literally bald right now. I do have no hair. I was just trying to get everything sorted and ready to go. Otherwise, there was going to be no stream, there was going to be nothing, and I was just going to give up. We're not going to do that now. We have everything running as we should do. So, yeah, the car on track is Tognoli, the number 28 Ferrari from Team SPX. We also have Ben Monroe in the RTO Series 8 Porsche. He's not an RTO driver, but that's the livery name for him. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how he gets on. Andrea Luongo, Team SPX as well, in the Mustang, the Stang, for the 510 Team SPX car. New guys that have joined. There's 5 or 6 of them, I think, in the championship. 4 or 5 of them in the AMs, and then 1 in the pros, who we'll show you a little bit later on. Chris Wilson returning to RTO, back in the Aston. Loving the RTO banner on the spoiler there. Good to see. So welcome back in, Chris Wilson. Daniel Solis, I believe this is brother of Tom. I'm hoping it is, because otherwise I'm going to look a fool. Nothing new there. But joining for the AMS this season. So welcome, Daniel Solis. Phil Mitchell, we're still waiting for the first times to come through, so we'll go through a few of these in a minute. Welcome back, Phil. Team Snell Esports in the Ferrari. Then we've got Nicola Merlino for Team SPX as well. And then Rocco Di Donato, who's also part of the SPX team in the McLaren. And one more SPX, Adriano Gregorelli in the Ferrari. And behind him, I believe, that is Brian Bond, who automatically gets 1,000 points in the championship and wins because he's in a Bentley. No, he doesn't. But everyone who knows me well knows that that's my baby. So yes, Subsy, how's it going? Welcome into our RTO. Good to see you coming over from the streams in the LMU. That Bentley is an absolute rocket down the straights. It is so fast here, it's unreal. And it is such a good car. He's going down the main straight now, and he's pulled past the Ferrari, and now the Ferrari's tucking in behind him just to see if he can get a bit of a tow, and yeah, see if he can find a way back through. I just realised that I am peaking on the mic, so I do apologise. Let me just turn myself down a little bit so we don't shout at you all. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that's much better for you. So coming through the final sector in the Bentley. Is he going to make a mistake coming through it? No, it does not look like he does. So this potentially could be a lap for Brian. Oh, good. Sorry, my stream for you guys just died there. Right, I hadn't. So the pros and silvers should be on their way out, as you can hear them coming out of the pit. So we'll check those out in a minute, see how many of these managed to get a lap in. Go through anyone else. So top of the timetable at the moment is Phil Mitchell, who has a chance to do one more lap as well. So let's see how Phil gets on with this lap. Up 1.3 seconds already. He has an 8-second advantage over Daniel Solis. So a guy that's obviously akin to the Green Hell. So we're hoping to see some other guys. Daniel Solis is on another lap, who's also up by nearly 2 seconds. We're going to need to find a lot more than that. Ben Munro also up by 3.3 seconds. So that will bring him a lot closer to the top four, who are top three, 3 and 4. Ivan Kacherev and Chris Wilson, who have already boxed. So it'd be interesting to see if they continue. As we ride on board with Team Snow Esports Ferrari. In the corners nicely there. The idea is not to go way over the top and try and carry too much speed as you go in there, because you will end up losing an absolute ton of time. I would tell you all the corner names, but unfortunately I'm not that professional. So yeah. I must admit, this track, you need to make sure that you carry as much of the speed that you require, but you really have to be so careful. There's a few yellow flags being thrown at the moment as well, so for good measure. I mean, this track, it has over 170 corners. So yeah. 20 kilometers, maximum elevation difference of 300 meters. So it's actually not too crazy on the difference of elevation, I guess. For the size of the track, you could think that could be a lot more, but you do know as you sort of ride underneath the trees here and chuck it into these bends, you just need to make sure you carry the right amount of speed. So still up that 1.8 seconds. So obviously made a mistake maybe in the first part of the lap. Now, dividends as he comes back through here. Career change from EastEnders playing yeah. Something like that. Something like that. This is the corner that always gets me when I'm here. Got to keep it to the right here, and then just a slight downshift and chuck it in and believe it's going to stick, and he does. Keeps it out of the barrier. This is looking a very, very good lap from Phil Mitchell. Starting off strong in the AMs to put it on pole for them. What's pole time going to be? I'd say an 8.8, potentially. If Refs gets it right, but he is tired. We may see something else from, people like Liam and Simon Bauer. These guys, obviously, as you know, Simon, very, very quick. So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see the times. I will agree with you there. We will catch up with the pros in a second. But we've got Daniel Solis, who's also on a lap. He's going through the carousel as we speak. Just behind Phil Mitchell by about 19 seconds or so on track. But he's up 2 seconds on this lap. Ben Munro is up 6 seconds on this lap, so this is looking a much better lap. He's coming through the carousel as well, so he's just behind Daniel Solis. And Brian Bond, who is also up on a lap here by 1.7 seconds. So this is going to put him... it's going to keep him 6th, unless Ben Munro doesn't manage to continue with his lap for any reason. Ben Munro is up 9.3 seconds. This is going to put him into P3 currently, if he can keep this. In fact, it may even put him into P... I think this is going to put him into P2 with this lap. If he can continue and keep this under control, then there's no reason why this shouldn't be a very good lap. Oh, he's just hanging the tail out there over the curbs, running a bit of risk. Keep the car to the left-hand side, throw it in on the right. Use the camber, run it to the outside over the curb, and then you need to just dab the brakes, let the car roll through the corner, pick up the throttle, run it to the edge of the track, use all the curb on the outside. And this is all about flow and keeping the car in the right position for each corner. And it's so difficult to understand what corner's coming next. Then you've got the jump. Takes it nice and steady. He's up 10.6 seconds. This is one hell of a lap from Ben Munro. He's going to put this right up into P3 at the moment if he manages to get this right for the rest of this lap. Now up nearly 11 seconds. As Mitchell, let's get out my pub, is doing a great job down the back straight. He's lost half a second on this lap, but he is going to be pole, I think, anyway, because Daniel Solis is now in the pits. Ben Munro up 11.4 seconds. He's got a few more corners, and then he can relax down the straight, and then he's just got to sort out the final little sector of the lap. Brian Bond up 5 seconds on this lap. This is going to put him up into P5 if he can continue with this. Just keep it nice and steady, Brian. Keep it on the track. Running in the Bentley. Absolute hero. And coming out onto the final main straight. Crosses the line. 8 minutes 19.240 for Phil. That is pole by an absolute long shot in the AMS. Can Ben Munro now keep his Porsche in line and keeping it on the track for the final few corners? He doesn't need to risk anything. If as long as he keeps the same time as he's on now, he will be putting this onto P2. And it's been a great lap. And that was very good. Very well controlled. Nice and safe. And yeah, we can see some of the cones flying around there. Yeah, P2 for Ben Munro. 7.1 seconds off. Phil has absolutely walked away with this. Is Brian in the baby Bentley going to be able to... is he going to be able to pinch P5? I think he's just going to be... No, he's not going to pinch P5, but he's got a chance of P6, though. He's definitely got a good chance of P6. Just keep this nice and steady through here. He has gained a little bit more time. Why are you going over on the cones? And it is P6 for Brian. What a lap that is. That's great. Great work. Great work from Brian. Awesome job. Alright, so Fabian Wenger, new driver, Bavarian sim racer in the 296 Ferrari, and is 296. Funny that. A nice little livery on that car as well. So welcome in, Fabian. You enjoy your first race with us. Simon Bauer has made a mistake, from what I can tell on this lap. And has Dreambound, I think that is. Is it a Dreambound? It's in the Audi. Ben Nergard switched from the Mercedes this season into the BMW. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Matt Whitburn is in the Honda. Interesting. Did not think he was going to join in a Honda this time. But he has. I don't know. Some of these laps might be on. They're showing red for me at the moment. So I'm hoping it's just because they're on their first lap. So, but I tell you what, Matt is getting a hell of a tow behind the Bentley. So this will be interesting. There's a few Bentleys in this one. You've got Liam Page, who's in a Bentley as well. So Matt Whitburn is RTO, although he has backed off on this lap. So I'm guessing that means that he has made a mistake and he's going to try again. He does have enough time to do it. And they will have enough time to complete their laps. So it's all about making sure you get a lap here, because if you just don't get a lap, you can end up so far down, and then you've got to try and fight your way through all the way. So Liam Page crosses the line, goes into pole position, but instantly replaced by Ben Nergard at 8 minute 11.247. So that is a very, very good lap. Matt Whitburn did back off, and he did complete a lap, though. 8.1 down, so just behind Phil Mitchell at the moment. But Simon Bauer, 2.075, being closely followed by his STR or SOP teammate, James Rawlins. Good to see the guys back from SOP, so thank you very much, Simon. Your money's on Ben. Ben's going to have a good lap today. But I think it's all down to what this guy can perform as. This is his track. No one in RTO is as quick as this man around here. So it'll be interesting to see if that pressure pays off. And is he managing to put it on pole position today? Jordan Lockwood goes into P10 at the moment. Just behind James Rawlins. 1 second, literally nearly 1 second. Well, this has just popped in there. Christoph Holzer with a great lap in the silvers in the Porsche. 4 seconds off the lead. That was a 8 minute 15.272, so that's a great little start. He's already up on this lap. Zigo the rest of it crosses the line in 8 minutes 10.585, 6 tenths between the two RTO drivers at the top. But Dan Edvardson is in the pits, and that is his quali done. So he sticks it on P2, new to the RTO leagues. Raf's raced with him in a Nordic league, and yeah, we asked him to come and join us and see if he'd enjoy racing with us. So yeah, he's been kind enough to come and join. Refs is on another stormer of a lap. Everyone at the moment on the track, all the way down to P13, who is out on track, is up on this current lap. Greenbound in the Audi is up 1.7 seconds. Paul Cook, new to RTO this season, PCSR team. The Sky Blue Ferrari. Yeah, he is starting to go onto the green hell now. Liam wanted memes choosing the Bentley. Yeah, again, he gets another 1,000 points, mate, and an instant win because he's in the Bentley. You know what it's like to me, mate. But yeah. Don't have a livery from then. Funny that. He's like, no, didn't have 24 hours to try and make a livery for that car. Oh dear. We can put him in a RTO one if you like. So, but it's good to see this car back. I mean, it does hold a real special place in my heart, this one. So yeah. But so Simon Bauer up 1.3 seconds at the moment. Needs to find a little bit more pace if he's going to trouble the top two. Same with Fabian Wenger. He is also up about the same time, about 1.4, 1.5 seconds. Boxer in between. Christoph Holzer, who stuck a really good lap in, but was pipped by Wenger there, actually. Just missed that once, but by 1.3 seconds. Both of them are up exactly the same lap time, so Christoph needs to do a bit more on this lap to try and find the pace to move forward. Liam Page up 2.3 currently in the Bentley. So it'll be interesting. I mean, he's going to need at least 3 or 4 seconds to jump up into the top 4 here. So got quite a bit of work to do there. Matt Whitburn in the Honda up 2.6 as well. He's going to need a good 5 seconds to get anywhere near the top 5. So this will be interesting to see. I don't know how much practice he's been able to do this week, but I'm sure we'll see him on the track doing his thing. Last season was in the McLaren, actually, Matt, and yeah, pushed Dan and refs all the way to season 7 title, sorry. Oh, and that's Ben just pulling over. He's made a mistake, so that's Ben done. So, refs is up. I don't want to jinx it, but he is up. That's all I'm going to say. If he can continue with this lap, then you'll hopefully see. Yeah, I think, well, put it this way. If this continues at this pace, this will be his personal best. James Rawlins 3.7 up, which will put him a lot closer to the top 2 in silver. Phil Mitchell, though, with that lap in the AMS is an absolute stormer. P8. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep it there. What he doesn't, I mean, that really does create a problem for him, because does he race people around him to keep the AMS back? Or knowing that he's got a lot of pace advantage, does he, excuse me, knowing he's got a lot of pace advantage, does he just let it go? And then, you know, just to let the people go so he doesn't get caught up in any incidents, and just play it nice and safe for the next 6 minutes once this qualifying is done. Anyone else that we're waiting? So Elias Linder is still on a much better lap. This would put him... Oh, this lap will put him in the top 4 if he continues with this lap. So let's see if Elias Linder from Linder Racing is able to finish this one. Also a Twitch streamer. New driver Timothy Jadubal, or Judabal. Fin Nothing Moto is, fortunately, from what I can tell, this might not be a lap yet, so we'll see if he crosses the line and it does that he is on one. Then you've got Eric Latil, Team SPX in the Aston. This is the pro driver from SPX. Run a little bit wide there. But we have quite a few drivers actually from 30th down. So 6 drivers at the moment. Sorry, 5 drivers apart from Paul Sadlowski, who we haven't seen just yet, in the Mustang, put in a lap. So yeah, I mean, Paul just needs this one to count because he needs to get further forward. He does not want to be starting at the back of the grid in a pro category trying to fight his way through a lot of drivers, because that is going to be very risky towards the end of the lap. So we're coming through to the final part of this lap from ref, sliding it through. We'll go on board because this is watching this man around here, I must admit, I am in awe. Does do things with a car that I can only dream in ACC. Use all the curb, brake just as you get to the end, let the car roll through the right hander, use the curb on the exit, move it back to the right hand side, let the car roll through the corner again. Don't accelerate too early because you've got to hop over the right hand side, unsettles the car slightly, keep it pinned. We're going through the ride of the life here, going over the jump, left, right, jump, brake, turn in, run it wide, then double apex on the right hand side, then keep it to the left, hook it really near the curb, run it wide, another left. This is the seat your pants moment. Oh, the car moving around all across underneath him. Not touching any of the curbs. Matt Whitburn has just gone into pole position. 8 minutes 9.9 in the Honda. That's a lap. Refs really does need this one to count. And if he continues, like I say, the way he is, this could be his personal best. He's just coming out of the mini carousel. And he's got the 2 right-handers. You kind of... Oh, he's had to lift. He's had to lift. He went really wide. And that's just going to lose him time all the way down this straight. He's lost half a second so far. That's going to be pain as he comes through the final part of the lap. He is your brother, Twin. Oh, Twin. Okay, Tom. Excellent. Oh, thank you very much. And good luck to you both. Have you... thanks for bringing him to RTO. So good luck to you guys. Hope you have a good race. Chucking it in the curbs. Now up over the inside. Don't touch the inside. The next one, it unsettles the car. Let it run up to the barrier. Keep it left. Shortest line to the grid. He is up 2 seconds. This is going to be 8 minutes, 0.5. 8 minutes, 0.657. Goes back to pole. Matt is sitting there going, damn you, refs. But there is one more driver about to cross the line. Fabian Wenger is up nearly 2 seconds. This is going to put him up into P5. It is. So he does just pip Christoph Holzer by 0.3 of a second. Great lap from all drivers involved. But Phil Mitchell, absolute quali lap of the day for the AMS in the Ferrari, the 891 Ferrari. Great job. in in the Ferrari. So yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So we've now got, so let's just get through this. So you can see here on the left hand side, any chat on the right, there shouldn't be any chat. They've all been told off for this. Brent now fight through the field. Oh, Brent, no, unlucky, man. Unlucky, but just keep it nice and steady. That's the way to go through the grid, because there will be mistakes from people around you. So definitely the best way to move forward. So the server should kick over it in a minute or so. Wait for that to go, and we'll get involved with the race. 1 second, we'll be right. We have the drivers. That was perfect timing. The drivers on the grid, ready to all lined up, ready to rock and roll. So let's go through the grid as we see it. We've got Sigurd Restvik on pole position, alongside him Matt Whitburn in P2. The top 3 positions all being covered by RTO drivers, and then newcomer Timothy Jodabul in the Fear Nothing Moto McLaren. That is a really good livery. Moser Racing on the sponsors on the side of the car. Then we got Fabian Wenger alongside him in the 2 first of the silvers. Great qualities from these guys, 5th and 6th. Then you got Dan Edverton, who he did 1 lap, and I think, and then he didn't manage to get the 2nd lap in. So watch him moving forward in this race. Simon Bauer for STR Esports. Alongside him is the SOP driver Liam Page. And Paul Sadlowski did manage to get that staying around the track and stick it into P10. Then the next of the silvers, Elias Linda for Linda Racing. Alongside him is SOP driver James Rawlins. And then it's the first of the AMs with the quali lap of the day from Phil Mitchell in the 891 Ferrari. We got Dreambound, or as we call him, but his name is Marcel Snaithman for RTO in P14 on the grid, but P5 in class. In front of Paul Cook and then Jordan Lockwood. Then after that, we've got Damien Borg in the BMW Sim Racing livery car. And then it's the start of the AM. We've got Ben Munro alongside, in front of Daniel Solis. And then we have Ivan Micharev, Chris Wilson, returning again for another season of RTO, alongside Brian Bond with a great lap in the Bentley. Was in, I believe, the McLaren, and then switched to the Bentley at the last minute and has proven correct. Then we've got Warren Landman in the Amanthe EMA Porsche, alongside Russ Brown, Badger Racing. Good to see you back in, Russ, this season. Hope you enjoy it. Andrea Luongo for Team SPX, in front of Ilshar Perry. And Rocco Di Donato for Team SPX. Then we've got Alessio Tognoli again, and this is a lot of Team SCX right now, so welcome in to those guys. Great to have you on board. I apologize if I obliterate any of your names. Please forgive me. Adriano Gregorelli, again alongside Eric Littell, who didn't manage to get that lap in. He is in the pros, so it'll be interesting to see how he makes his way through. Then we've got Rasmus Abelstead, Tom Solis, who didn't manage to get his lap in. Then we've got Nicola Morellino, Brent Minen, and Cappy Maid, and Artem Netsov. Sorry. So, as usual, we will start at the front on Helicam. We will see how we get this race underway. We have, as always, the first lap, not just the first sector, the first lap. Incidents will be looked and checked for any foul play or reckless driving, and there will be drive-throughs given for those drivers if it is a serious incident. If it is not a severe incident, then either 5 or 10-second penalties will apply. Driver who go off the track and they get a drive-through for 3 hits, 3 strikes for off-track incursions, will also have those removed, and then they will be given a 5-second time penalty. If they do it again, then they keep it and they have to then go through and serve their drive-through penalty. If you get any sort of pit violation, then it's a 10-second penalty. Keep an eye out for those. Luckily this season I have a friend doing it. So Ryan McCord, thank you so much for joining us on this one. Normally on the grid, but decided he wants to have a bit of a backseat, watch the action and see where it goes. So we will keep an eye on the front of the grid, but we will keep an eye, try and keep an eye through everywhere. It is a huge grid, so I apologize if we miss anything. But we are green, green, green. Round 1 is underway, and straight away Matt Whitburn is pulled alongside Resvik, and Ben Nergeis had to move over on Jadable to try and pinch him on the inside to make sure he doesn't have it. But that Honda got an absolute launch, and now Refs tries to go around the outside. 3 wide at the back. The Bentley's just missing, and yeah, now Refs is trying to go back up the inside, but it's a nice tight twisty part of the track, so it's not going to happen. There's been a little bit of contact between Simon Bauer and Dan Edvardsen, but nothing crazy. Brian Bond is still getting through. I don't think there's been any major contact through the first part of this lap, which is usually where it all happens. So great driving from everyone involved. Now let's get back to the front, and it is Matt Whitburn that has pulled in front of Refs at the start. That is a absolute worldy of a move, because he needed to get that done, otherwise Refs would have just checked out, I believe, at the front of this. So now it's all about patience and just trying to see if people make mistakes. Back into P4 and 5, you've got Christoph Holzer, who is now in front of Fabian Wenger, who's actually dropped back and has Timothy Jadabol in between them. So he's moved up, but that is a great move. Christoph Holzer up into the top 4 in this race, and has a driver in between to keep Fabian Wenger at bay. And then now you've got Dan Edvardsen as well, who is also looking to make his way forward in this race. P6 really, really close together, so we'll see how we get through the chicane. I tell you, that inside curve, if you hit that sausage curve, you just bounce. It's horrendous. So there we go, and the cone's going absolutely flying already. Right, first time onto the main track, and everyone just keeping it nice and steady from what we can see at the moment. There is a couple of incidents, but nothing crazy from what I see. It's just looks like it's just little incidents at the moment, although there is now, these two have come together, Andrea Longo and Brett Minen. Brett in the McLaren, Andrea Longo on in the Stang. Still as you were. So refs literally all over the back at the front from Matt Whitburn, trying to keep an eye on all these little gaps. Paul Sadlowski moved up to P8, so already up 2 places from his starting position. Now trying to chase down Dan Edvardsen. We know how good Paul is. You know, sometimes he doesn't have it perfect in quali, but then in the race suddenly find his way forward. But Dan Edvardsen is all over the back of Fabian Wenger. This is not for position in class. This is just for position in the race. But he does need to try and dispatch a couple of these guys. Once they get through the first split, you'll see some of these timings change and all the positions start to make sense to you also. Apologies that you're not seeing that at the moment. But the first sector is kind of long. So now you're starting to see where everyone is. Those gaps all pretty much under a second until you get back to P15. But Paul Cook is chasing down Damien Borg in the BMW. Then there's a bit more of a gap again back to Ben Monroe, who had a really good quali and is still P2 in the AMS. He has Ivan behind him for Wall Racing, and Daniel Solis in his first race for RTO, looking just at the back of the podium places. Can he get a podium place in this race, in his first race in the league? That would be a great way to do it and say hello to everyone. So Timothy Yadabo, a little bit of contact there, I believe. with Fabian Wenger, but he has now just pipped him and got through. And now he's chasing down Christoph Holzer, who is up to P3. Matt Whitburn. Where is Matt Whitburn? Matt Whitburn's had a mistake and he's now into P4. What has gone on there? See if we can catch it. Not sure we're going to. Oh, no, unfortunately, no, it's too far back. But he has made a mistake and he has now dropped back to B4, which moves Sigurd Resvik up into the lead with with Ben on his tail. These guys are sharing the same car and the same setup. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top from the two Norwegian drivers in RTO. And we've still got a really good battle back here. Fabian Wenger all over the back of Jadibal. And I tell you now, Matt will be absolutely kicking himself. Whatever's gone on there, he will be kicking himself. Oh, and there's a big crash, big crash, big crash. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, and then it's going to be bigger again. Something's happened there. Yellow flags, guys. Slow it down. That was Dan Edwardson, and I think he also collected James Rawlins, who's instantly gone to the pits. And 891 as well. The Ferrari of Phil Mitchell. No way. Oh, that is so unlucky. That is so unlucky. James Rawlins in the pits. Phil Mitchell is not in the pits just yet. So, be interesting to see where he goes, unless... Yeah, you know, he has got going again, I think. Or is he... No, yes, he has got going again. So, yeah, he has continued on. Might just mean he needs to take an early pit stop. Then get back out and just see where he can find himself back in the race. Back to the front, Matt Whitburn is now holding up P5, 6, and I tell you, it won't be long until Paul Sadlowski and Simon Bauer are on the back of this as well. This is a great little scrap at the moment. Oh, and the Ferrari goes really, really wide there from Fabian Wenger. Just managing to keep it all together. Liam Page at the back of this in P9, just watching on, seeing what's going on, see if he can make a move. Greenbound up into P3 in silver. Christoph Holzer, though, up into P3 in the race. Absolute storming job from Holzer. Returning for Season 8. Didn't manage to do Season 7, but great to see him back in Season 8. As we look back towards Paul Sadlowski on the back of the Ferrari, the Bavarian Sim Racer livery. As we go through, I call them the S's. No idea if that's what they call, but that'll do. Because they are so much fun here at the Nordschleife. We are still on lap 1. There is still plenty of racing to go. Don't forget, there is a mandatory pit stop for fuel. They do not need to take tyres. It is 25 seconds that they will stay stationary. So at this point in the track like this, it might be worth taking those extra 5 seconds for the tyres. Unless you've got damage and you want to repair it, then it's just to see which one is going to save you more time. So Fabian is not looking back really, he is looking forward. Is he going to get enough of a tow off the back of the McLaren, who also has a tow on the back of the Honda, who is a little bit further away from the Porsche ahead of him? And you can see we're closing as we go down the straight. We're going to move on the outside of the Honda. Is he going to manage to make the move stick as we come back into the main track? He is. Sweep around the outside, and Matt loses another place, and that was a brilliant move by Judaball. Very brave and clean from all these drivers. Great to see. And now Judaball can try and take... He is P3 in class, so that's the main part that he wants there. He's now in the top 3 of the pros, but he now has a silver car in front of him. And what does he do? Does he try and overtake it so Christoph, so he can move away and create a bit of a gap from him and Matt? Although he's made a little mistake coming through turn number 2 there. Just going to allow Matt to just close back up again. And I did say to you that this man, Paul Sadlowski, P7, moved up from P10, is already on the back of this and seeing that actually I could get a 1-2-3 RTO podium here if we keep this nice and smooth. But I tell you, one person that won't allow this is Simon Bauer, coming back into ACC for Season 8, racing with Samantha Tan Esports and alongside SOP. So thank you so much, Simon, again for bringing your drivers back over to us. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how these guys get on. There's so much racing here. The thing is, I know we're only on lap 1, but there's 10 minutes gone. So you can see there's going to be about 13 laps of this. And then it's going to be done. So it's a little bit different to some of the normal hour-long races that you have. But because it's one lap and it's such a long lap, you make a mistake and you try and get back to the pits, it can cost you a monumental amount of time. And the same if you're RTG, it costs you even more. So it's best just to try and keep it nice and clean and just see where you end up. Ian Page is actually closing down on this lap so far, the gap to Simon in the BMW. So he's starting to find his way with that Bentley. Coming back onto the Nordschleife. And now all these guys have caught Christoph Holzer. So Christoph is now looking back at all these guys, apart from Fabian Wenger. So he needs to be careful. The two cars you see directly behind him are in the pros, so they are not fighting him. So yes, he can let them go. But the car immediately behind the Honda of Matt Whitburn is Fabian Wenger, who is in the same class. And he then obviously doesn't want him to be on his gearbox. So what does he do? Does he just try and keep these guys behind? Does he defend? Or does he let them go and just try and defend his position in class? That's the sort of thing when you got these sort of different classes in racing, even if it's when it comes to things like Le Mans this weekend. Obviously, when you've got hypercars and LMPs and GTEs, or GT3, sorry, it doesn't really make any difference. You're not going to defend if you're in a GTE against a hypercar. It's just not going to happen. But here it's where it makes it a bit of a different. You can see the front end coming up off the ground in the McLaren. And the Porsche's got such good grip. And the McLaren literally coming off the ground as he went through the fast right-hander. Out front, Ben is still within a second, within what would be DRS range of Sigurd Refsvik at the front. Those two neck and neck on lap times. The first lap, there was 2 tenths between them. So at this lap, Refs has pulled about 3 tenths so far. So keep an eye on the gaps there. Matt Whitburn in the Honda. I never thought I'd see another Honda on a grid again. Oh God. Maybe that's where he lost it last time. That looks very, very, very tail happy. Unless he's got damage on the rear. That looked scary. That looked very, very scary. And it would explain the lack of pace, if that's the case. Might be worth doing maybe one more lap, and then boxing, and if there is damage, just getting that repaired, and taking the fuel and everything, and just go into the end. Thing is, you've also got to watch out for your gaps, because if you are watching your track map or whatever, and you see that, you know, by the time you pit, you're going to end up, in traffic. With slower drivers, it could end up costing you even more time. So that's why sometimes it's worth doing maybe, you know, 2 laps just to build that gap between the slower drivers and the guys at the front, and then at least then you'll come back behind people potentially on your pace, and hopefully not cause too much of a problem. But I tell you again, that tail just hanging out in that Honda, and these guys are really on it. And again, now here we go. The McLaren now looking to go on the outside. This is a scary, scary move. He's got to get this right. They cannot afford to make contact. Christoph Holzer still hanging it on the outside. They're all bunching up and having to hit the brakes. You don't normally brake at that point of the track. And now Christoph Holzer has got everyone swarming all over the back of him. Matt just wants to get past and chase after Judewal, but Judewal makes a great move. Really great racing between these guys. And yeah, that could have been, wow, to be fair, that could have been an absolute catastrophe waiting to happen, but these guys absolutely bossed that. And with a great move, now up into P3. Can he do anything about the top two? What sort of lap times can Judabal do between now and the end of the race? Can he close that 8-second gap down and maybe challenge the front two drivers towards the end of this race? Christoph Holzer now just managed to pull the gap, using maybe the pace from the McLaren to pull him away from Matt Whitburn. I think Matt's really struggling with that Honda in this race. You can see the back end is sticking out all over the place. He's now got Fabian Wengel all over the back of him. Christoph Holzer's waiting to pounce, and Simon Bauer and Liam Page all there as well, all within about a second and a half, 2 seconds. So these group of cars are it's anyone's game up into that P4 spot at the moment for the pros, and the top two in the silver are definitely not over and done with. Dreambound in the silver though, doing a great little job and keeping his position in P3. But let's check on the AMs. So Ben Monroe is now leading. So something's so obviously we know what happened to the leader Phil Mitchell. He got into contact, but Phil is continuing. He hasn't boxed yet either. So interesting. Tognoli has an SG30, so just we need to clear that off. Yep. So yeah, that SG30 does need to be cleared. You're gonna have to bear with me a second. What the guys are meant to be doing, but unfortunately, they're not there. Okay. So Phil has managed to continue, as you can see. And now we're on Nicola Morellino, who is running in P5 for SPX, and Daniel Solis still P3 in P18 overall, so that's a really good solid run, but he does have Tom Solis, his brother, his twin brother, might I add, all over the back of him. So Tom will be looking to get through this, because he does need to try and catch up Artem Kuznetsov as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he can what happens if he just lets him go, which I'm expecting him to do. But both these guys in Team LFI, yeah, and Daniel's just made a slight mistake there. Oh, and I think, is Tom coming into the pits? Tom is going straight into the pits, so he is boxing and getting that job done out of the way. Cappy made for Row Racing. Row Racing is also coming into the pits, so now some of you are starting to see some of the pit stops happening as well. The rest of the grids again, sorry about that. Brian Bond is moving up a couple of places as well, so he's up into P23 to overall, which I believe is P6 for the AMS, so that's a great little job. Bit of damage on that Bentley. Chris Wilson for company as well, so this is a battle for position. Going to come out on top. I think it is the Aston, and the Bentley, I think Brian just let him go. Maybe there was a bit of contact earlier on. Rasmus Abelstedt is running P25 in the silver class, so it'll be interesting to see how he moves forward. Tom Solis has now boxed, and I believe is on his way out of the pits. That's interesting, because not many other people are boxing yet after a couple of laps. So you can see that Jordan Lockwood, Tognoli and Luongo have all boxed. Maid and Solace. No one else has decided to take the pits anyway. I just want to just want to clarify something. Ref's last time on this lap, okay, an 8:11.075. I might have given away this because you can see the tower on the left hand side. But Ben on that last lap, an 8 minutes 11.075. They have done exactly the same lap time. So who is going to make it their own on this lap? Who's going to pull out the fastest lap on this lap? There is 2 points for the fastest lap in each class. So each class who has the fastest lap will get 2 points. Whichever driver in that class. So at the moment, there's 4 points going out, and it's to both these guys. So yeah, interesting. Not sure how SimGrid would work that out. That's actually quite interesting to know. I've never seen that before. But yeah, we're starting to see some of these drivers just spread out a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. Tom Solis has come out in P19 overall. I think that's P6 in class, I think. But so yeah, well, we are expecting once these guys start boxing, and towards the end of the race, everyone will start catching up with each other again. It usually happens here. In fact, it happens in our friends over at SOP all the time. Every time there's an hour-long race and there's a pit stop, you get a little lull in the middle of the race, and then all of a sudden, once everyone's made their pit stops, the last 5 minutes are like a 2-minute sprint. It's insane. So yeah, really good to see. Liam Page has now just overtaken Simon Bauer. So can Liam now move away from Simon in the BMW for this race? And try and chase down Paul Sadlowski, who is all over the back of Matt Whitburn. Fabian Wenger has got past Matt, so he is now all over the back of his leading silver driver, Christoph Holzer. So that's a battle for position. So yeah, interesting to see what happens between Paul and Matt. Judebauer hasn't managed to make any inroads on the front two. In fact, he lost 2 seconds on that last lap. But don't forget, he was fighting and he was trying to get past a couple of cars. So it'll be this lap that we need to see if he does a better lap. At the moment, he is pretty much net his fastest lap. So no one really improving apart from Paul Cook. Paul Cook is on a better lap. And so is Eric Littell behind him. So there's a big gap between these two. But these guys are in the I think these guys are in the wildcards. So I'm not sure why it's showing them as pro. It should be showing them as pro app. So that's a bit of an interesting one, but I might need to look that up and see how we get that to work. But never mind, we'll do that in the back scenes. But refs is actually lost a little bit of time to Ben on this lap. Only a tenth or two, but they are still putting in pretty much the exact same lap time. Although now refs has made a bit of a mistake. Oh no, the time settled down. So they are literally, guys, they are doing exactly the same lap time again. This is insane. So yeah. Through the carousel. Yeah, Paul Cook and Damien Borg are 2 wildcard drivers, so they should be on the black banner on the timer sheet. So just keep an eye on those. Those guys are wildcard drivers. If you want to get involved in this, please feel free to do so. You need to head over to our SimGrid page. I will link for you in the chat momentarily. And then if you want to get involved, please do feel free to join us, because we like to have as many people with us at RTO as possible. We have 45. Nope, sorry, I lie. 47 signed up at the moment. What's wrong with having a couple more, right? What I say. So yeah. That's the link to the SimGrid, and in there you'll also find our Discords. How you get on. But refs has made a mistake on this lap, because Ben has now caught him by 3 tenths in that last sector. So this is where it needs to be. Apparently I've got to wake up. So yeah. Right, now he's in the tow, so this is going to be interesting. Ben Refs is now weaving left and right, trying to break that tow, because this is the chance that Ben wants. He's just kept it nice and close, nice and tidy all the way through the lap, and then Refs has made that mistake, and now he's pulling alongside. Gives way a little wave to Refs, I'm sure, and now Izzy in the lead. As they come into the stadium sector, and is Ref's going to lift? Yeah, Refs gave the space and lifted off. So that puts Ben Nergard into the lead of this race. Really enjoying that BMW. And, I mean, Ben won his first, I think, RTO race in Season 7. And, yeah, has just gone from strength to strength. Usually drives the Mercedes. Has opted to switch to the Beamer for this race and now has taken the lead. So, what does Ref do in response? Does he try and go after him for the victory, and or does he try and play it by ear and see if he gets a better pit stop and manages to do a better job in the pits? Oh no, what's going on? Oh, they're pitting. Oh, I thought they was dropping. So Christoph Holzer and Paul Sadlowski in the pits. So that puts Fabian Wenger up into the lead of Silvers. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. That looks like Paul Sadlowski trying to do an undercut, maybe, to try and clear some of the drivers ahead of him, and see if he can maybe make a place up. He's got a bit of a bumpy box there. Interesting to see. Paul Cook up into P10, still to pit. So at the moment, the top... Oh, what are we at down to? The top 25. So the top 24 need to pit. James Rawlins is now in the box as well. Good to see that he's continued. There is points for every position. He's at the... Oh, okay. So someone's in his box. And Rocco Di Donato has had a bit of a moment there, but he's managed to continue, so that's good. Oh, Ross Brown, Badger Racing, getting all out of sorts through the mini carousel. Or through the big carousel, sorry. No, it is the mini carousel. As it comes onto the back straight in the Aston Martin. Steve, I'm good. How are you, my friend? Good to see you in, buddy. So, Ref still all over the back of Ben. We will keep an eye on that. Matt Whitburn is trying to keep up and put pressure back on Judabal in the McLaren to see if he can make it a 1-2-3 for RTO. The FNM driver is at the moment in the podium places in P3, so he's in the commanding seat, and he also has a silver of Fabian Wenger in between him. So Matt is definitely struggling with that Honda in this race. He has been all over the place at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see if he can if he needs to box and maybe make a repair in the pits. It does have damage on that left hand side, so I'm wondering if something went on in the race where there was an issue. It looks like at the moment there is no penalties coming through. Dreambound has an SG30, so that needs to be changed as well. So yeah, Matt Whitburn is trying to chase down it. I tell you what, Judabal hasn't made any forward momentum towards the top two. Refs is still all over the back. We need to keep an eye on this because Refs literally is all over the back of Ben. These two have been neck and neck through the entire part of this race. And I think this is going to be whoever makes the best pit stop is going to be the person that comes out on top. So Christoph Holzer P9 now. Well, no, it's going to take a couple of minutes to sort that out because he has a obviously he's pitted and he hasn't gone through the first timing being yet. So yeah, nice grid mate. RTO keeps doing the good stuff. Yeah, we try to. We actually have 47 people signed up. A few people use this race as their drop round. I have no idea why. I might have done the same. But yeah, for the rest of the season, I'm sure that we'll be putting on 40 cars plus at some of these races. It's going to be very, very interesting. So yeah, great to see all these guys back down. Okay, unfortunately, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do the penalties because the steward is having issues trying to get these sorted. So bear with me 1 minute while I just sort out an issue here. Won't take me 2 seconds. Oops, button. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so any penalties, how it works at RTO, any penalties given for SG30s in the pit lane or drive-throughs for track limits get removed and given a time penalty. That basically means that you keep your race going. That you know you could be in a really good battle and just make a slight mistake, but then the SG30s and DTs do get reviewed. So basically means that if you go flying through, you know, the pit lane at ridiculous speed, then just get an SG30 on the other end, and you gain a load of time, you will then, you know, be removed from the race if you've done it on purpose. So so that's how it works. We give the drivers a bit of trust. So yeah, what was that, Brian? Wonderful pit limit never kicked in. So oh man, no, Brian. Don't get me wrong, you can we'll clear it, mate. You know that, right? You just get a 10-second penalty, dude. So that's what I just said. First lap all clear. Excellent. Good. Right, so let's go back. Refs has actually dropped back a little bit. He's just around about a second behind, or maybe just under a second, 0.8 now, behind Ben. Ben doing an absolute worldie of a job, but now is the key moment because this time refs is behind, although he's just out of the tow. So I think Ben's done enough on this lap to make sure he stays ahead. Yeah, Thomas, where Mr. Loverick, where are you not racing with us this season? And he is, look, he's gaining. He's gained half a second down this straight. Is he going to try and make a move as they come into the chicane? I don't think he is. That'll be absolute suicide going through here. And the main thing is these two want to finish this race 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure refs wants it the other way around, and I'm sure Ben wants us to stay the same. Oh, that is really lively. And Ben does box, so he is going for a 50-50 split in this race. Nice. So yeah, there you go. So Le Mans on this weekend. If you haven't seen it, then you need to go and watch it. So actually, there you go. Jadable also takes for the pits. Matt Whitburn also follows him in, but Fabian Wenger keeps going in the silver class, up into P3 overall at the moment. And Christoph Holzer has boxed already, so it'll be interesting to see. Although I must admit, I'm not. It's going to be. I think Christoph Holzer might come out behind Wenger. I think Holzer's had a bit of a longer pit stop for some reason. So yeah, Simon Bauer has damage. Liam Page is following and is able to carry on. So refs is just coming down. He's gone through the yeah, he's coming up to the final chicane. So so yeah, it's about say 2/3 of the lap, 2 sectors of the lap is what it costs you in time. So probably about a minute or so, minute and a bit, minute and 10 seconds or so in the pits. So there you go. Depending on whether you decide to change tires or not. So that'll be the key thing. Can you do a full stint here, an hour on just one set, or are you going to change and get the benefit with those fresh new boots? Paul Sadlowski and Matt Whitburn have made contact, I think, as well. What happened there? Can we see this? Oh, coming out of the pits. Yep, so this is for position. And, yeah, so Paul Sadlowski has jumped. Oh, and then he... Oh, whoa. Okay, so there's actually a double hit. So Matt gets hit by Paul and turned around. And then he gets hit by Judabar, who's now just lucked back in to P3 overall. He actually had come out behind Matt and Paul, but the two RTO drivers tripping over each other. And, yeah, that means that it's all back to do again. So, looks like Paul's... yeah, I don't think... I mean, obviously it wasn't meant, but very clumsy. Very, very clumsy. But and it's the uncharacteristics from Paul as well. He doesn't tend to make that many mistakes, so I'm sure he's kicking himself for it. And depending on how close Matt gets between now and the end of the race, he might see that position switch back if Paul can't do anything about Judable in P3. But Paul is trying to aim for a 1, 2, 3 in the pro class for the RTO drivers. Simon Bauer and Liam Page have come out neck and neck as well. Liam is behind Simon again. He did get past him earlier on in the race, but now has dropped slightly back behind him. So interesting. Let's go back to some of the AMs and see how they're getting on. Ivan Murtarev is P18, 4th in class. Phil Mitchell is back into P1, but yet to stop. Dan Solis has now stopped. So this will be interesting. So Daniel Solis is just coming out of the box now. And I think I tell you now, I think Phil might have done enough to put himself back in contention, depending on what he's going to do with the damage. I think Phil Mitchell has done enough so far to pull himself back into this race and potentially still win AMS. But we need to see what he does in the pit stop. Is he going to repair the damage or is he not? Because I think that's quite a lot of damage he's got there. Depends on how the car's handling. His laps are 8:27. I think, if I remember correctly, it was was it Murtarev? No, it was Merlino, who is the yeah, so Merlino I think is now P3. Dan Solis is P2 at the moment, but I think no, it isn't Nicola Marino. So Marino is P2 at the moment, and yeah, you've got Phil at the moment who's P1, but has to stop. So yeah, this I think he'll come out in P3. I think in the AMS, and then when he'll have a couple of laps then to try and maybe do something about it. And yeah, we'll go from there. So hoping I'm still talking to you. I've just had a spinny disc on my feet. There we go. So yeah, getting in the chat then. If you want to get involved with us, there's still some spaces if you want to come and join us. Get you guys on track 5 seasons. You can use this round as your drop round, so you don't actually miss anything. And then if you finish the last 5, you've got a great chance of, you know, being competitive towards the end of the season. We'll show you the calendar at the end of this race, so you can at least see what tracks to come up. But don't forget, this is an hour long. Round number 2 is 2 25-minute races, and then rounds number 3 is another hour long with a pit stop, and then the round 4 is 2 25-minute races. The 25-minute races don't have a stop. Oh no, that was very wide. Oh, Phil Phil, don't pretend you got clean pants, because I know you haven't. I heard that once said on a Top Gear. So, yeah, that was very, very, very scary. He's definitely pushing on. He's wanting to try and make that, get back into the top of AMS for Team Snail Esports. Doing a great job so far with the recovery drive. It's definitely going to be close between these. Yeah, I think he's going to come out P3 behind Chris Wilson. Probably about 5 or 6 seconds behind him, maybe, something like that. Then he's going to have... I think it's going to be too much to get P1, but he's definitely got a chance of getting P2. So, there you go. Got a very good chance. Who was that that's disappeared off the track? Someone just disappeared. And Refs is coming down the main straight. So does he box on this lap to try and stop the undercut from Ben? Ben's come back out in P3, so he had a very nice gap. And as I said, Paul has let Matt go through after the contact, so I'm guessing he's hoping there'll be no no incident report. But Christoph Holzer is really pushing on because he needs to. He can't afford to be held up because Wagner was all over the back of him, so he can't afford to be held up here. So technically, he does need to try and get through this. Maybe if Paul's holding him up, he does need to try and get through this, and yeah, to try and jump Wenger or Wagner in the pits when he does box. Refs has boxed. The Refs is now in the pit, so keep an eye on that as we come along. And Wenger is now coming through the final sector. Does he follow Refs in the pits? Yes, he does. He goes straight into the pits. So this is going to be interesting. Don't go over the line fast. So we are watching Refs versus Ben Nergard versus Christoph Holzer is with Wenger. So, oh, and there you go. So Paul Sadlowski lost the rear ends coming out of the mini carousel and now has the Porsche all over the back of him. There we go. He's gaining down the main straight. Gaining. Look at that. Now he's in the tow. The car in front just hits a VMAX, and that's it. Once he hits the VMAX, but that Mustang has got one hell of a donkey underneath that hood. So now that the Porsche is alongside, oh, he just managed to squeeze it. But now the Mustang's going to be back in the tow. Is he going to try and make a move as they come into the final sector? Again, it'd be absolutely banzai if he did. It'd be crazy. And thinks better of it and just uses maybe the tow to try and pull him back up to the back of Matt Whitburn, who is now trying to chase down Judable for P3. Matt will still make it an RTO 1-2-3 if he can catch him. There's probably around about 3 laps to go in this race. So still plenty to get done here, even though there's 17 minutes to go. A little mistake by Judable will cost him some time. He's done a great job so far, and Refs did he keep the lead? No, he did not keep the lead. Ben Nergard has absolutely stormed into a 7.1 second lead. 7.1 seconds. Ben has absolutely blitzed his in-lap, the pit stop, and the outlap. What a drive so far from Ben Nergard. This is incredible. Subsea, Hyperpole sounds amazing. Porsche from 2 Caddies and 2 Ferraris. Nice. Ben's done a great job. You did say it, didn't you? You did say it, Lynx. You did say it, Ryan. Sorry. Right, so back to the action. Paul is still all over the back of Holzer, but he is dropping time now to Matt Whitburn, so I think maybe the damage is a little bit too much on the Mustang. Does sound absolutely mental, that car. So yeah, Phil Mitchell is now boxed. So who are we looking for? Ivan Micharev in his first race for RTO is going to move up into P1. That Beamer's looking rather clean. It looks like there's no... Although it's called wall racing, it doesn't look like he's found one yet. So, great job so far. Let's hope he can continue that. Another, like I say, 3 laps to go. So, he has moved up. Chris Wilson has also moved up. So, as I said, and now Phil is... Where are we? He is now out of the pits, and there you go. So, he is in P3... About 5 seconds, I said. So let's see if that works. I think it's about 7 seconds. So I wasn't too far off from a guess. But he's still got the damage. I mean, I don't know if that's been repaired. Sometimes you get a glitch where it doesn't show you the repair. So I would say from that pit stop, he didn't repair it. So give you an idea. That last lap, he made a big mistake. He lost 10 seconds. So yeah, I'm not sure he's going to catch Chris in this race now. Unless he did repair that damage. If he's repaired the damage, then he might have a chance. Keep an eye on that as we go through the race. Tom Solis still chasing Elias Linder down. This is P3 and P2 in... Sorry, this is for P3 in silver. I keep forgetting the Holzer. And sorry, this is for P4. Because you've got Fabian Wenger right at the top. So Christoph Holzer is about... 7 seconds behind. So Fabian Wenger doing an absolute sterling job here at the Nordschleife. Greenbound all over the back of Liam Page, who's fallen off the back of Simon Bauer as well. So this isn't for anything other than pride. Greenbound doing a great job in that Audi. Did think he was going to struggle, but he has done a great job in that Audi. So refs has caught Ben so far on this lap. So it'll be interesting to see how much you can catch him between now and the end of the next lap. When they cross the line on the next lap. Oh no, there might be, like I say, they might still have the 2 laps left. So depends on how much refs is willing to push. I thought I heard I heard all the screeching of tyres. And I won't lie, I was expecting to see a car sideways as he came into shot then. But it did look... it didn't look very as dramatic as I thought it was, as the sound warranted. So, this is a section that always used to confuse me, because it looks very similar to the section after this. Because you've got all the trees and everything in. It just looks like it's the fast section, but no, there's a nice right-hander that you need to downshift a couple of times for. Hit an apex. Oh, and Dreamman really hanging the tail out of the back of the Audi. And, yeah, really pushing on to try and find a P9 overall. Will Liam give it up, though? That's the question. But he will. So let's catch up with a few more of the guys... towards the back of the grid. Elshred Perry, P28 at the moment. James Rawlins having a bit of an issue in his race. Got caught up in an incident through no fault of his own. And doing parable lap times with sort of the top 10, really. So that shows where he should be in this race. We all know how quick James is here at RTO, and expect to see normal service resumed next week in the double race of the double header that we've got on for you. Alessio Tognoli for SPX has a 10-second penalty that will carry on at the end of the race. Oh, he got disqualified. Ben. Oh, okay, Brian, you got disqualified. I see. I thought you had a time penalty. Yeah, okay. Ray Lungo is now back in the pits. Russ Brown for Badger Racing, doing a great job. Going to get some good points in this race today. Car looking clean as well. So Well, I know he might have been in the pits before, but the car looking very, very good. Nicola Merlino and the Ferrari trying to chase down Ben Munro ahead of him for P4. Oh my word, as we caught that, came on board there with the shot, he was very sideways, and now he's hit the wall. So I'm not sure he's going to make that one, unfortunately. Ben Munro pulling away. He was P2 at the start of this race. So yeah, things have not gone the way he expected. Did a really good lap in qualifying. Has dropped out of the top 3 so far in this race. And I think with the times that are left in the race and the time he's got to try and find, unless there is some monumental pile-up ahead of him, I think he's going to be stuck with P4 at the moment. Rasmus Abelstead. Nothing Moto. Another driver alongside Timothy Jadubal. So good to see 2 drivers in this now. He's running in 6, 7. P9, sorry. P9 in clap. So doing a good job. Christoph Holzer. Although that's actually might change in a minute. Do that. But Christoph Holzer P6. Got past and is moved away from Paul in that last lap. And is catching Matt Whitburn. The pace that Christoph has in that Porsche around here is sublime. Home race for Christoph Holzer. Doing an absolutely fantastic job against another home racer in Fabian Owenga. Or Wenger. I would call that Wenger because I'm an Arsenal fan. You know, please tell me if that's wrong. But yeah. The refs were 7/10 quicker on that last lap. 5 seconds is the gap. There is 2 laps to go. So this is going to be interesting to see which of these guys is going to come out on top. If Ben makes the slightest mistake, then unfortunately refs is going to be all over him. But Ben is very, very, very well versed in the racing that he's been doing this with us at RTO, and kind of unflappable when there's someone behind him. So yeah, ice in those veins. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, going back to the AMS, Chris Wilson doing a great job. Who has Ivan Mertinev all over the back of him. He's made a mistake, and now has Mertinev and Phil Mitchell. So Phil Mitchell has caught these guys. I was wrong. And is now looking to try and get back into the lead of the AMS. This is insane. What a recovery drive from Phil Mitchell. Get out my pub, Phil. And Chris will be kicking himself. He's made a mistake somewhere. You can see the car is going a lot slower. He's got the bonnet flapping around. With 1 lap to go, there's no point in pitting. I mean, to be fair, if he did, he'd still come out, I think, in P3, which he is. He is going to box, but it depends on... He's just going to repair the car, so it depends on what the damage is. I think that may be a mistake. He's got 2 laps to go. I don't think he would have lost 40 seconds, maybe, depending on how undrivable it was. But that'll pique Ben Munro's interest. And now Phil is all over the back of Mitroev. And you see him having a look. Does he need to do it now? He doesn't necessarily need to do it now. The guy's giving him space. Just trying to hang it around the outside now. Get a nice cutback. Get a much better exit, which he has got. He's now on the inside as they come into the hairpin. This is going to be a job done as they get down to the hairpin. Whoever's going to be the bravest on the brakes. Phil Mitchell keeps it on the inside. Keeping very good space between these guys. Very well done. This is something that I've noticed with RM drivers. There is a lot of respect between them. And this is side by side now for 3 corners, guys. And they're still side by side. Still haven't touched. They've got close, but they both were aware of each other. And Mitroev still manages to keep the spot. But Phil's looking once again to try at the inside, but thinks better of it. And yeah, maybe he just needs to settle in for a half a lap. He's going to have another lap yet, so there's still plenty of time in this race. Because when you say a lap, it's like 60 minutes. So there's still plenty of time to try and get back in front of that BMW. He's weaving left and right, trying to make him look in his mirrors, trying to keep him unfocused. Thought he was going to go in the back of him then, so he went to dive away from the BMW. And I think he's definitely got more confidence in that Ferrari, even with the damage, than the Beamer has at the moment. Chris Wilson's still in the pit, so he should be coming out. But Chris Wilson has lost. Yeah, he has lost time. So he's now P6. Oh no, wait, that's Dan Solis. Why is Wilson still here? He's still in the pits. So Dan Solis has got him. So that's Munro, Merlino, and Solis. And that, who has just RTG'd, is a Mr. Liam Page in the Bentley. What has happened there? That is... Phil still all over the back of the BMW. This is not done yet. Refs has brought the gap down from 7.5 seconds to 3.9. He is 2 seconds faster on this lap alone than Ben is. So, but the thing is, if it's only 2 seconds on this lap and 2 seconds on the last lap, it's not going to be enough. Ben can relax a little bit. Refs does have to push. So he really does have the ball in his court, Ben. He knows that he's got the time in hand. Yeah, he really has pulled in a couple of seconds on this lap so far. Once again, Phil really trying to hustle the BMW as they go through the fast downhill section. He's going to get a nice toe, but again, it's not really an overtaking place. There's so many corners. It's just, you kind of just, once you're in this position, you kind of just have to sit. There's no point in trying to send it, because if you do, you're going to end up just causing an accident. And the Beamer got very unsettled over the curbs then, ran wide, but manages to do some great car control and keep that Beamer in front, using all the curb on the inside and the exit. Now the Ferrari's all over the back of him. And now he's literally alongside, as you can see. Is he going to let him go? He does. He just backs out of it, Phil. He knows he can't afford to get any more damage and make any more mistakes, because if he does, that could be race over. And the comeback, I think he'll be happy with P2 at the moment. But that doesn't mean he needs to settle for it. So yeah. Christopher Volzer still 3.1 off the back of Matt Whitburn, who is 10 seconds behind Fabian Wenger. So Fabian Wenger, sorry, has pretty much... Oh, my word! Oh, wow! That was an SPX Ferrari that has just RTG'd. I believe that what might have been... I want to say... Actually, I don't know who that was. We are down to 32 drivers from 35, so... might have been Tognoli, I think. But yep. So Judabal all over the back of Paul Sadlowski now. So, yes, so actually, something's gone on here, because Judabal's now in P5. You got Matt Whitburn and Paul Sadlowski both past him, so that is a 1-2-3 in the pros now for RTO. Gustav Holzer is P2 in the silvers, with Wenger in P1, and Dreambound P3 for RTO in the silvers. It was Tognoli, okay. Thank you. And, yeah. So something has gone on there. Oh, man. Paul is wringing the neck of that Stang and trying to get away. Every point is going to count in this championship. This is going to be close. I know the times are stretched out in this race, but trust me, at this track, that was bound to happen. But some of the racetracks we got coming up where the lap is so short, the times are going to be so close. And I picked something in our Discord yesterday of the final round at Kyalami at Season 7. The top 4 were covered by less than a tenth of a second in both classes of the Pro and Silvers. It was insane. And I think the top 10 were covered by less than a second. So it was like a tenth. So there you go. So, as you heard, Ben has started the final lap in the lead. 3.4 seconds is the gap. Ben was 1.9 seconds slower that lap, so it was 2 seconds. So unless he makes a mistake, refs is not going to catch him. But we have to come back because Paul has now been overtaken by the McLaren because he's got that front end damage. He now tucks in behind. And is he getting the toe back? He is, and he's starting to close up, but he's going to run out of road through here. The fire section is just suicidal, as we said earlier. And the McLaren now picks back up into P6. Overall, 4 on the road in class. 1 lap to go. And can Paul do anything about that? But Matt Whitburn in P3 at the moment. Doing a great little job. Definitely has some issues there, though, with that car. Paul Cook has managed to catch and pass Dreambound on that back straight. Not that it matters. That's a wild card on Silver, but you might find that Cook may end up being... I mean, we are going to run the wild cards now as they are, so is set as match. So we just, if you want to join us, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, feel free, because we have got spaces left if you want to join us. Wildcard entries are available, so come and join us, get on track, have a bit of fun. All the details are on our SimGrid page. Is right there, almost like human to the dog. Yes. 7-second gap is roughly 1 second. Yeah, absolutely, because it's obviously it is ridiculously long, isn't it? It's got 8 minutes rather than, you know, you're looking at 8 minutes 10 in the lap times at the moment, nearly 11. But refs has now taken that fastest lap. Although Ben did put his best lap in on that last lap, refs really did take a lot of time out of him. He has taken about 6/10 off him again in this lap so far. In fact, 8/10 at the moment, because he's 2.6 back. So it's not over yet. We will keep an eye on that gap. But there you go. Paul and Judabal still battling it out for P4. In the AMS, Phil Mitchell has managed to get past Mitroev. Sorry we missed that, but I had to keep an eye on some other bits there as well. But yeah, Phil has done the recovery drive of the day. And for me, gets my vote of the day. And oh no, Mitrovic has actually managed to make a big mistake. What has gone on there? So he's obviously lost a lot of time somewhere, because he's come out so far behind. And he's already got a bit of damage. So he's already had 1 bit of contact somewhere. Whether that was with Phil or not, I don't know. But oh, he just carries way too much speed in. Hits the curb, unsettles the car. And then, unfortunately, collects the barrier. Yeah, that's all she said. Elias Linda's back in the pits. So does that mean Mitroev? Okay, so who's Ben Monroe? Oh, that was close. So Ben Monroe just crossing the line now. And that Beamer is very, very damaged, but he's already halfway around the GP circuit. He's at the hairpin coming up to the Schumacher S's. So maybe not. Refs has it down to 1.3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a grandstand finish. This is not over yet. Ben, although I tell you now there is ice in that man's veins, I can tell you now his heartbeat is up by at least 1 beat per minute. And he's may have a tiny bit of sweat on his brow, but only 1 tiny bead. But I can tell you now, he is watching his mirrors as much as he is forwards, because he knows that if Refs gets behind him on that back straight, Refs will pull up behind him very, very fast, and they're only a third of the way around the track, so there is still plenty of lap to go yet for Refs to catch Ben. I'm wondering if Ben didn't change tyres and Refs did, and if he did, that's why there is so much extra pace in this blue RTO BMW compared to the red. So we will keep an eye on that. Paul is all over the back of the McLaren as well. So he has caught Judabal back up. So this is for P4 in the class. Can he make it? Can he get past it? Because Judabal's done a great job in that McLaren this race, in his first race for RTO. McLaren is a good car, Andy, but it's a handful, and he's done a great job, and the Mustang is just an absolute beast. And here you go, he's already got a run. So Judabal, although he's going to be on the outside here, he's going to have the inside line as they come up to the right-hander. Is this going to be an RTO? In RTO, it looks like he nearly had it done. Great, there must have been no more than a lick of paint between these guys. Now it's the drag up the hill, which is the faster car. The Mustang does make it in front. of the McLaren, but now the McLaren is in the tow. So we need to watch back from the Mustang. I keep calling the McLaren. It's not. It's a Mustang. There's two M cars in it's now. And you can see him closing. But again, through here, if you park it in the right place, there's just nowhere to go. You cannot get past at all. And through the fast right-hander, running it right up to the barrier. That was I tell you, that was balls to the wall, as we call it. Paul Sadlowski really pushing to try and keep himself in that top 4 spot. And Refs is 8. In fact, Refs is all over the back. We've got to switch to this now, guys. Sorry. But this is the battle for the win. Refs lost it earlier on in the race. Had a very slow pit stop compared to Ben. I don't think Ben's taken tyres because he looks like he's struggling now towards the end of this stint. And that Beamer behind is definitely caught him at an absolute rate of knots over the last 2 laps. And it means that if Ben gets a bad exit coming out onto the main straight in a few corners' time, Refs is going to be all over him. You can see him struggling. He's got no front end. Bear in mind, these guys are running the exact same setup. There is complete difference in the attributes of both these cars. The front end on the blue is much more responsive. You can see Refs can put it where he wants it. And, yeah. So we're on board with Refs looking towards Ben. This is it now. So Ben just needs a good exit. It's all he can do. And and Refs did get a bit of a swabble on there. So that's actually helped Ben pull away just another 10th or 2. But it's going to be who gets the best exit onto the back straight. Ben trying to use all of the curb. He's trying to carry as much speed onto the back straight as he can. Because this is it. This is for the win. Is Refs going to do it on the final lap? This is absolutely insane. This is what it's like every single week at RTO. Refs is towing him all the way down the straight. Who is going to make the move? He is going to move on the outside. Ben knows there's no point in trying to defend because he's just got the pace. All he can do is maybe just tuck in behind him and then see if he can grab a tow, maybe push him into a mistake. He's now moved into the lead, and now the tow is back. Ben all over the back, moving left, moving right, trying to push Refs on, but unfortunately can't do it. And Refs, what a recovery drive to come back from 7.8 seconds down to catch Ben and win the race on the final straight. Ben, what a race from these two. Absolutely amazing. And I'm sure Ben is absolutely kicking himself, but what a race. He'll be the first to congratulate Refs and also swear at him. I won't lie. But no, he will be very, very happy for him. Fabian Wenger, take a bow, sir. Absolute storming race in the Silvers, putting it in to P1 at the end. 3 overall. Great job, great drive. Very, very well done in your first race in RTO colours. Looking forward to seeing what you can do for the rest of the season. Matt Whitburn with the ice rink Honda, I'm going to call that, because it looks very untidy. It's also got a dent in the door. Just trying some different aero out. P3, RTO 1, 2, 3. And Paul Sadlowski has lost that position. Christoph Holzer, P2 in the Silvers. Judabo is P4, sorry. And Paul did lose out to him in that last lap. But Christoph Holzer, well done to you, sir. Great racing. And unfortunate for the losing it out at towards the middle of the track, the race there. But great job. Simon Bauer just missed him crossing the line for STR Esports. Well done. Paul Cook coming across the line for the wildcards. Great job. P9 overall, winning the definitely winning the wildcard entries, with Dreambound following him in behind for P3 in the Silvers in the Audi. That is a great result. Tom Solis, Eric Littell has had an incident. He's done a great job. We've missed a lot of his racing. I do apologize. He has come from near the back of the grid up to P11. He was a minute ago. He was P11. He's now actually P12. So obviously something's happened there. But we'll catch him in 1 second. Tom Solis going to cross the line for Team LFI. Again, another driver starting near the back up to P12. Just showing that as long as you don't go crazy, you've got a great chance of getting forward. So Tom Solis, well done to you, sir. Eric Littell, well done. P12. That is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 overall. Damien Borg for the final wildcard entry. At the moment, there's only 2 of them, but P2 in class. It's a great result for Damien Borg. And Jordan Lockwood as well. We haven't seen much in this race. Galaxy Beamer doing a great job. P14, P5 overall in class. Look at that livery, actually. Why have we not shown that? That will be getting a lot more views next week. What a livery that is. Absolutely brilliant livery. Kuznetsov, sorry, Artem in the Ferrari coming at 15. Phil Mitchell, what a recovery drive. Driver of the day for me. P16, but P1, which is the main thing in class after an absolute... He got caught up in a crash at the start. Did a great job to recover. Warren Landman in the silver class, P17. First time out in RTO. Welcome to the league. Great racing from yourself as well. We'll see how that goes. And Ivan Mertinev actually manages to keep P2, even though he went... Did he go in... Oh, he didn't go in the box. He didn't box, did he? But yeah, he's managed to keep P2. He's managed to get that thing around the track at the end there. So, very well recovered and a good result in the end. Abelstead as well, P3. Sorry, not P3, P19 overall in the silver class now. Ben Monroe coming through, P20, P3 in class for the AMS. And you are right, Brian Glassuck. That was what did... Oh, my word! Having some proper fun. Ben there coming out of the final corner. Not that I'm sure... I'm not sure if he did meant to do that, but it looked good anyway. And we've got Merlino for Team SPX coming across the line. Dan Solis, P5 in his first race for us. That's a solid result in the AMS. Only a couple of seconds behind Merlino. So that's going to be a season-long fight, I think, between him and a few of these SPX guys. Really good job from them. There we go. Great job. Then we've got Elias Linder going to cross the line a little bit later on. Coming down the main straight. Chris Wilson is also still going. And I think James Rawlins... Oh, no, I think James Rawlins is now. Elias Linder and Chris Wilson are the final 2 drivers to complete the race. They will get enough time to finish the lap. So there we go. Chris Wilson had a good start, but got caught up again in some incidents earlier on in the race. So yeah, well done, Linda. Great job from you. Don't forget this guy streams, so go check him out and yeah, give him some follows and some love. Happy with that. Didn't set a quality lap. Started 32th, 11th, 4th in class. Tom, you did a great job, mate. Really, really good job. Well done, buddy. And your brother did a great job as well. P5 overall in his first race. That's going to be a good battle in the AMS for him. So good to see how that's going to look towards the end. So yeah, while Chris finishes his final lap, we'll give him some love on the channel. He's coming through the final parts of the lap now. Got a couple of right-handers, long ass straight that you could land a jumbo on, and quite literally. And then yeah, then the final sector through. So next week, let's go and show you this. So you've got it. Next week, we are at the Red Bull Ring. 2 times 25-minute races. It will be a sunny track. And, yeah, so basically you get 10 minutes for pros and the silvers. And then the AMs will get their own 10 minutes first. I know it's a silver and AM together. We've actually changed that. It's now silver and pro together. And then the AMs, and we'll put AMs and wildcards probably together as well. So, although actually that's probably silly now because you can see how quick the wildcards are at the moment. So they'll probably go out with the pros and silvers. So there you go. And that means it's going to be very busy, that track. We have potential of 47 drivers on the track for that race. I'm not sure that track actually holds that many people. So there you go. Chris Wilson just crosses the line. Great racing. Well done to everyone. That was really, really good. And yeah, and after that we move on to Imola, which is a wet race. Imola will be a wet race. and it is an hour, and you do have to take a pit stop in that. Then we move on to America, where we do Laguna Seca returns to the RTO calendar for the first time in about 3 seasons. A very tricky track, that one. It's going to definitely test these guys to the max. 2 races to follow on that one. Then we go to Barcelona, which will be a dusk race for that one at Barcelona, so it will be dry, but it will be towards the end of the evening. And that is a hour-long race with a pit stop, as we have had tonight. And then final round is at Zandvoort at the end of July. 2 times 25-minute races in the same way that you have done before, and in the sense that the Pro Silvers will go out and the Cams will be first. But there's 10 minutes in those qualies. I hope you've enjoyed that race, ladies and gentlemen. I know there was a lot going on. This race is very, very... it does get sporadic, does get out, but there was battles again all the way through that race, as there always is in RTO. I remember, Simon, you've done a great job, my friend. Really good job. I know that was potentially one of your tougher tracks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you get back on form in the rest of the season, mate. Don't forget there's drop rounds, as we said. Fastest laps will go to the top fastest laps in each class. Sorry for the drivers that completed that. There's 2 points, don't forget, for those ones in each round as well tonight, this season. And yeah, so just to let you know, we'll be back again on the same time, the same channel. If you haven't already, please make sure you follow the RTO channel on YouTube. And if you want to get involved with us once more, I will pop into the chat. So you've got it. The SimGrid Championship. Click on that, gives you all the details about the championship. You can register on there. You will have to sign up as a wildcard, but it means you can free to race and get involved with the track. And if you enjoy what you see, then when we do season number 9 towards the autumn, then you can come and join us for that as well. And yeah, it also gives you the Discord link in there as well. So if you want to get involved, then... So I will do a little shameless plug for myself, because I'm putting all this on. Why shouldn't I? We have myself. If you want to come and catch me doing some Le Mans Ultimate, then please feel free to join me on that channel. We also are starting the Williams Esports League again, the Summer Cup, in a couple of weeks' time, which I'll be racing in with a couple of the boys from RTO. So I hope you guys will come and join us for that and give some support. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I will leave you for the race now. We will be back next week. I'll leave you with this amazing video that you've seen maybe a couple of times so far, which Refs creates all on his own, with little bits that he records and everything else. But one thing you might notice with the video that we've done this time, or that I say that he has created this time, is the sounds sound a little bit different. And that's because he not only spent time getting all the ACC clips together, but he then went round the same tracks as those clips, racing in the cars that you see on AC with the mods that you get with the proper engine sounds. And this is what he has created. Yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next stream, which is, like I say, starts exactly the same time, 7 o'clock UK time, 6 o'clock UTC, same channel, next Thursday, and we will be at the Red Bull Ring. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And once again, if you haven't already, please, please, please hit that follow button. Give us a like as well. The more that we get, the better, so we can start pushing this out and growing this channel. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Good night.